Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving the 2025 Ford Maverick Hybrid. Up front is a 2.5 liter inline-4 as well as a hybrid system, and down below is a CVT. Now I am super excited to be making this video today because the Maverick is refreshed for 2025. You're going to notice that front end and tail end look a little bit different, a little bit smoother, a little bit bigger headlights. We also get a larger infotainment display on the inside and some other goodies that we'll talk about along the way. The other thing is that I really like the Maverick and I'm so happy to see it getting a facelift, and we'll talk about why that is a little bit later on. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 2.5 liter inline-4 under the hood. Well, that is the hybrid system, or the hybrid option here for the Ford Maverick. You can also find a 2-liter turbocharged engine that is the sporty performance non-hybrid engine. This is going to be great for efficiency. It does allow for some electric driving, and the owner has been averaging 35 miles to the gallon in his short ownership of this truck, which is wonderful for a truck that can do truck things and get that kind of mileage. Absolutely spectacular. Now, because it is the hybrid system, you do get the CVT, which means continuously variable transmission. If you get the 2-liter sport engine, that would come with a more traditional transmission that's an 8-speed. Honestly, I don't love CVTs, but I also am not bothered by it here in the Maverick. I wouldn't recommend towing as much with a CVT as opposed to a traditional transmission, but at the end of the day, if you want or need to tow, you're probably not looking at the Maverick anyway. So in this application, it works well. Last but not least, all new for 2025, you can now get the hybrid with all-wheel drive. So this is an all-wheel drive hybrid Maverick, where in years past, if you got the hybrid, it was stuck to just front-wheel drive. This is an absolutely massive leap forward for the Maverick, and I'm very happy to see that Ford did that. How does it feel to drive the Ford Maverick Hybrid from 2025? Well, it drives great. Drives really, really great. It drives like a traditional hybrid vehicle where it's quiet, it's calm, and it drives honestly like a car. If I didn't have a rear view mirror, I would think that I was driving a slightly taller car or an Escape or something of that sort. And that's a good thing because it drives nice. It doesn't drive like a crappy old pickup truck, because it's not a crappy old pickup truck. It's very approachable. It's very easy to drive, and that is definitely the Maverick's strong suit. Visibility is decent, good in terms of a modern car. The ride quality has been pretty solid as well. Not too bouncy, but also not the plushest in the world. A nice Goldilocks middle ground. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a completely digital gauge cluster. I really like this. We do have technically physical gauges for the coolant temperature and fuel, but not anything crazy. And you could select a couple different things, go through a couple different screens here in the Maverick, and I like it a lot. Clear, simple, easy. On the steering wheel on the left, we do have cruise control. There is adaptive cruise control in Ford's Copilot 360 package. However, this Maverick does not have that package. And off to the right, we do have our selectors for the gauge cluster screen, as well as phone options, skip track, and mode. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, headlight switch, gas cap release, cargo light, and gauge dimmer switch. And moving on to the door, we have lock and unlock, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do get a little cubby up at the very top and our new infotainment display. This is larger than the outgoing Maverick. Here is the old Maverick screen, and now here is the new Maverick screen for your comparison's sake. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We can also run our heated seats through here. Don't love that because now the climate controls are ran through the screen. I would say that this is a big downside of the new interior. I don't love screen-controlled climate controls. It's just, it adds an issue where an issue never existed, in my opinion. But in my time with the truck, it's been pretty responsive. It hasn't been laggy, so I can't complain too much. Here's the backup camera in case you were curious. Down below, we do get 2 climate control vents, and then we get a couple of climate controls here. We get the volume off to the left, skip track, and screen, but then we have max for the defrost and our auto holding brake. We get a 12-volt outlet, USB-C as well as USB-A. Love the 2 different USB options. But I do want to note this is also where the start-stop button is. So the Maverick has gotten rid of any physical keys. You used to still be able to get a Maverick with a physical key. They've done away with that in terms of push to start. Power parking brake and traction control off, and off to the right we have cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test. It unfortunately fails the big friggin' bottle test, but to be expected nevertheless. Now there is also a bottle holder in the door. This is specifically designed for water bottles, just not the big friggin' bottle. So unfortunately, still a fail. Then we get some more cubby space and a center console and the seats. The seats remain pretty much unchanged from the pre-facelift. They didn't really touch these or bother these when they refreshed it, and I like that. I think these seats work well, so I'm happy to see them stay. They're a little bit harder than what you might find in other pickup trucks. They're not as forgiving, but again, it's not the end of the world, and for a pickup truck, that's pretty par for the course. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a backseat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2025 Ford Maverick, and a couple of things to note. First of all, the owner does have a dog. That's why this mat is down. Not a whole ton of space back here. It's not anything crazy. My knees do touch the seat in front of me, but I do have a wall outlet, very nice part of the hybrid, 2 USB-Cs, and this little hook. This hook is here so you can actually 3D print or buy accessories to slide in. And the owner has said that he's found a ton of 3D printable items that you could put in here, like a dog bowl or a holder for a box of Kleenex. So really, really cool to see that, and makes the truck kind of modular to fit your needs. You can also lift this back seat up, and there is some storage underneath the seat, which is very, very nice. The seats themselves are a little hard, not anything crazy. I wouldn't consider the Maverick a great road trip vehicle or a huge family vehicle. I don't think the Brady Bunch would be driving one of these if it were filmed today, but I digress. It has a back seat. I'm a big boy and I fit back here, so I'm gonna quit my complaining. Let's hop into the back. We'll take a quick look at the bed and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. Right around the back of the Ford Maverick, there's a very high-pitched noise going on. I don't really know what that's about, but it's not coming from the truck. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Anyway, fold down the rear tailgate here. Nothing really too crazy to write home about, besides we do have a wall outlet over here. Love to see that. No bed liner from the factory, at least on this particular one. And we do have some storage over there, which is very nice to see. The truck is now turned on to recharge the hybrid battery. But that is it. That is what you get around the back of the Ford Maverick, which I think is actually quite lovely. Now we got to talk about the looks, and this has been refreshed. As I mentioned, this is part of the big refresh. The headlights are the big giveaway. They're a little bit different. I think that they're sculpted a lot better. I think they look a lot nicer, and I'm happy to see that Ford is putting effort into this truck and not just letting it die. Although with its sales numbers, there's no way it was going to die anyway. So with that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the refreshed Ford Maverick? Well, I like it a lot. This truck is fantastic. I think it works really well, and it accomplishes the goal that it sets out to do. It's a simple little city truck that is very, very efficient, and people know that because these sell in droves. When the owner, Tony, wanted to buy this, and he bought this only a week ago, there were only 2 2025s on the lot. All of the other ones had been bought up. And actually, as of the making this video, there is a stop sale on the 2024 Ford Maverick because of a backup camera glitch. So if he wanted a Maverick that day, he had to get the 2025, and he's glad that he did. This truck is great, and that's why I'm so happy to see it getting refreshed and getting the care that it deserves from Ford. Not only is it a visual update, but it's also a mental showing of Ford giving effort and committing to the Maverick. When a vehicle gets refreshed, that means that it has at least a couple more years of life. It's like when you're dating someone and you don't actually plan anything for the future because you don't really know how this whole thing is going to shake out. And then he or she comes to you and says, hey, let's go to this concert in 6 months. And you go, oh, they're thinking about 6 months ahead? Oh, they're going to stay around for another 6 months? I quite like that. Nice. That's how this feels, this refresh. It feels like Ford is saying, yeah, we're going to stick around. We're going to keep making this little sucker for a couple more years. That is nice to see because it is such a great vehicle. Anyone looking for a big pickup truck, I always usher them to look at the Maverick because honestly, this accomplishes 99% of things that pickup truck owners want to do. You want to fill the bed with mulch once a year? You can. You have to bring the lawnmower over to grandma's house? You can. Do you have messy dogs out on the farm that you'd have to bring up to the house to wash them? You could do that here. The Ford Maverick is more truck than most people even need. And so for that, it's the truck that you need. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Tony for letting me poke around and drive his refreshed Ford Maverick. I've known Tony for a very, very long time, very down to earth. It was awesome to film one of his vehicles, and I appreciate him very, very much. But I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.